Hey, welcome back to the channel. I took Archangel up for war purposes 2 seasons ago, and now with Act 7 being out, I'm able to use him in in-game content, and he is absolutely melting champions, defenders, and turning off nodes. He is so good and has surprised me so much that even though he's coming up on his 4-year anniversary in the game, I think that if this champion was placed into the game in February, he would have the sort of hype that is being generated by Cosmic Ghost Rider, Apocalypse, Professor X, and Strife. He's that good. We're going to take a look at 7 fights, including a boss fight, where I show you why. Okay, this first fight's going to be against Aspect of War, which is a very difficult node. Typically, we use a slow champion to handle it. It has this Cage Rattler. They're obviously trying to incentivize you to use a skill attacker, and that could be fine. However, if you use Archangel, you could just turn the node off if you get up to 3 neurotoxins and you have them at a high enough sig, or just kill the defender before the 50 seconds are up and they go unblockable. As you see here, we're going to do both. And have a really good time doing it. I know one of the negatives of Archangel is that you do need to be able to apply both your bleed and your poison in order to form the neurotoxin. But I was talking with Let Him Taters the other day, telling him just like how impressed I am with Archangel, all the things he's able to do for me in war, and how much I'm enjoying using him in Act 7. And Taters did the math. 79% of the champions in this game are neither immune to bleed nor poison, meaning at its base level, as a simple starting off point, he could be used, or his abilities could be utilized against 79% of the champions in this game. That is a significant amount of the game. And as you're seeing, we're at 22, 23 hits here, and we've basically got this Captain America down. Do not even have to worry about the node or him going unblockable. This is Act 7. These are all Act 7 fights, lanes, and nodes. Okay, this next fight is going to be against a stealth SpiderMan on an encroaching stun and a hurt locker node. You will see that we're, again, going to kill this opponent so fast. It's going to be the theme in every single fight, is how quickly he can get a fight down, meaning that the node, no matter how difficult, has less time to truly have a role in the outcome of the fight. You will see that encroaching stun should trigger just before Spidey dies. It's very quick, but you'll see it. But we have the 3 neurotoxins up. I've taken my Archangel to sig 112, which gave me a 33.34% reduction in ability accuracy for each neurotoxin. I wanted to make sure I had complete over 100% once I got to 3 neurotoxins. And then this is one of the things I love about this champion. It's part of why I like Mystics, and I think they're hard to balance, is how they deal with power, right? Power is involved in every single fight in the game. Hurt Locker is trying to force you to throw Special 1, then Special 2, alternate them, ideally, right? With Archangel, you don't even need to throw specials. His damage doesn't come from doing that. It's coming from the heavy and then applying the poisons and then turning those into neurotoxins. So there are so many nodes in this game where you just don't need to worry about it because of the way he deals damage. And we're seeing more and more nodes like this in the game that deal with power and power drains and things like that, and alternating specials. As you can see, the encroaching stun timer is about to slide down. We have 8 neurotoxins on. We didn't get stunned. Stealth Spidey died right away, so it was hard to see, but as you see, we did not get stunned. We had turned the node off. Moving on to this next fight against HitMonkey, there's this Typhoon and Spite. Again, this has a lot to do with power and how that's going to work out. Again, ideally, you do want to be able to parry stun and then heavy, meaning you're not triggering Dex very often. Also, as the fight is so quick, less opportunities for Spite to really have some sort of outcome in the fight. I wanted to show this one against HitMonkey because he is a difficult defender and can purify or shrug so many of the debuffs, but we're gonna see what Archangel does to HitMonkey. All right, we're heading in there. And again, these fights are so fast, it's difficult to get all the information into it we want, but he's triggered his Primal Rage, so he's purified the debuff. I believe that's going to be the last one he purifies here. The bleeds do give a decreased chance of purifying debuffs. And then once we get the neurotoxins on, this fight is over. HitMonkey is a tough defender. He caused a lot of problems those last couple seasons in War, but we've got our neurotoxins on. We're not having to worry about spite because the fight is so quick. And again, unless you miss a parry, in which case go for the reparry, but unless you miss a parry, you're not triggering dexterity anyway. And the fights are over so fast, there's not a lot of chances for the opponent to throw their specials, forcing you to dex out of them. Moving on to this next fight, which is mesmerized against this Elsa. He's not a true evade counter. I don't want to portray him as that. However, again, in a fight where you can stun the opponent, all you're doing is looking to land your heavy. You're not needing to land a certain amount of combos or in a combo in a certain hit or a light or a medium or anything like that. Just parry, stun, heavy. You're going to get your bleeds up. You're going to get your poisons up. You're going to turn those into neurotoxins. And for a node like this, he has now become a evade counter. This would also work against just any old SpiderMan who is evading that you can stun, or of course a Nightcrawler too. It doesn't have to just be for a mesmerized node. As you can see here, and now we have our 3 neurotoxins up too. This guy is so much fun. I know he will have been in the game 4 months. I think it's in March, according to the Anti-May website. But he is destroying things and he feels like a new champion. That's how powerful he is. We're moving into this next fight. This is a pretty beefy Bishop, and I know I don't like fighting Bishop because of his specials. I, for the most part, have the special 2 down fairly well, but it does clip me sometimes, and I just don't like fighting him. Being able to get him down quickly, especially against a node that's going to be draining my power. So the ability to just be able to stun him, land these heavies, and have that damage, it's melting opponents. I do not know how else to explain it or describe it, but this is a 377,000 health opponent. And we are going to absolutely crush him, melt him, destroy him, whatever word you want to use. And he is going to get so little power, he is only going to be able to throw off, I think it's 2 specials in this whole fight. If I had pressed more, I think we could have got it down even quicker. Look at the red numbers. We've only got 3 up. I know at some point, I think we have 5 or 6, and you start to see 7,000 from the red numbers. It's incredible. It's impressive. I really hope that you're starting to see like, yeah, you know, I think this guy knows what he's talking about. If this character came out in the game, if this champion came out in the game next month, the hype would be unreal for him. The ability to turn off nodes and to so quickly end fights against massive opponents, the biggest opponents in the game. And then I'm aware that he has downsides. He's not poison immune, he's not bleed immune, so he's not exactly suicide friendly. I'm not going to try to portray him as that. As you see, I'm running suicides in almost all these fights. It does increase his damage, and I bring it along the Nick Fury synergy. Archangel was able to take so many of the fights on these lanes that it worked out very well. But I do think he's, let's call it suicide friendly light, okay? Or suicide friendly like low version, in that you're not needing to throw specials. So as a result, you're not having to worry about recoil. To me, it feels very similar to a Quake player. Now, I want to be fair. I always like to be fair and honest on these things. Quake is not taking blocked hits. She's not. That's how they're playing her, right? If you're playing her as to that full potential. So I'm not going to say they're exactly the same, but his armor is higher, and his block proficiency is also higher than Quake's. And yeah, sure, you're taking, what, 4 to 5 parries per fight, but it's not significant. The damage is coming from you making a mistake, which would, again, be very similar to Quake, and we're seeing her played with suicides so frequently. Now, another thing that some people will say is like, yeah, but you have to just parry and heavy. How can you handle nodes where they're going unblockable, these sorts of things? Well, here we are against this armored assault where anytime the opponent has an armor up buff, they're going to go unblockable. Additionally, there's this arc overload. There's healing, which he can also turn off. All right, let's take a look at it. And what I will suggest for this, the Iron Man fight, I did make a mistake. As we were just talking about, still got the fight down, but I thought the Heimdall fight was a much better example of what we will be showing and what I'm talking about. And really this trick or this tactic, I've started seeing more and more with the advanced Tigra play, where people were using their light or their medium, I guess it's their light, to close the gap and also to know the spacing from the heavy into the heavy. And that's what I would suggest doing. As you can see here, yes, we do need to do some intercepting. Yes, I need to be baiting some specials. But as we're going to get that down, see, I'm going to punish the special and move him back to his SP1. The armor up was down, so I was able to go ahead and do the parry and heavy. Pretty soon here, I'm going to start getting the spacing down. There we go. I've now landed my heavy after his. He's got the armor up, so I'm going to need to intercept. We can throw our specials. They do apply the debuffs, so they do help you get those neuros going. It's not that they do nothing, it's just you often don't need to throw them. And now this fight's starting to turn into our fight. We've got the neurotoxins on. I'm getting the spacing a little better. As you saw, the light attack into the heavy. Again, I've seen that more and more with Advanced Tiger play. Brian Grant had a really great war video recently where he showcased doing that, really helped him get a solo against a tough MODOK. We've got the new 2 neurotoxins up now. I mean, this guy is just incredible. He no champion in the game anymore. I mean, I guess Quake maybe and Ghost in some ways can do everything. Those times of the game, I think, seem to be gone. But for this guy was put into the game 4 years ago. He fell slightly out of the meta because so many of the champions coming out had either bleed or poison immunity or both. But the game has so many champions now, and it is so complex that they're now, like I said earlier in the video, 79% of the champions in the game are neither bleed nor poison immune. And if you can't parry and you can't stun, you still could time your heavies into theirs. And then for the last fight, I wanted to show you this is a nearly 600,000 Act 7 boss. It's the Wolverine Weapon X, who's a pretty tough opponent and goes unblockable. He's very aggressive and he will go unblockable in the fight. Additionally, he has healing, a significant amount of healing. So we're going to need to deal with all these things. I'm not going to be able to just sit there and parry heavy over and over into some weakless defender here. Watch how this goes and look at how few hits it's going to take to get this 598,000. So just shy of 600,000 health, and watch this. We're not even getting amazing RNG here. We've landed 2 heavies and only have 2 bleeds up. As you place the bleeds, that increases your chance of getting the poisons from him hitting into your block. And I think we've now turned the healing off. Yep, take a look at this. There are absolutely no green numbers despite him having a heal going, the passive heal. And he's now going unblockable. So we're going to need to play this fight as you would with any other attacker. Any other attacker would have to play this, hit into his block, bait these specials. But while we're doing all that, his health is absolutely melting. We did a backdraft intercept. You can do that with Archangel. You can do that. I just love this fight. I love that he's able to do this. He is so much more than just parry heavy. Of course, that's ideal. If you can do that over and over, you're going to get them down even faster. But if you can't, there are other things you can do, and they are tactics that you're used to using from using almost any other champion in the game. 56 hits, and he has defeated, he has crushed, he has melted, whatever word you want to use, a 600,000 health Act 7 boss. This guy is incredible. He's amazing. I love using him. I love the mutant class, but if I can use him, he is my favorite mutant to bring. I hope you agree. I hope you see it. And please let me know. Please let me know in the comment section. I actually have a video of him doing the whole aspect of war lane. Cosmic Ghost Rider and Magneto needed to take 1 fight each in that. But he does the whole lane. It's pretty cool. I'd like to put that out. If enough people like this video, if it gets enough comments, enough traction, I will definitely put that out. And let me know. Let me know what you think. Am I crazy? I don't think I am. Of course, I don't think I'm crazy. I think if this guy came out in the game and was a February champion, his hype would be Cosmic Ghost Rider level. But I'd like to know what you think. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. I hope you either learned something, were entertained, or even better, a little bit of both. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow on Twitter at Vega Gaming 583. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.